Hey everybody, so here's more examples for today's assignment. So here's the trig ratios, right? How they were defined in the notes. Remember, sine of a certain angle is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of an angle is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then tangent of an angle is opposite over adjacent. So first they want us to look at angle A. So I'm going to look at angle A and find all of these ratios. So here's angle A. Right. Now then I'm gonna name the different sides of the right triangle. Now the right triangle is always you can always find the hypotenuse easiest. The hypotenuse again hasn't changed. It's across the 90-degree angle, and then there's this side measure, that's 5, and then this side measure, that's 12. Now if you remember. Well, from class I kept saying adjacent means next to. So this side or this leg is the adjacent leg because it's next to angle A. It's right next to it. And then this side over here that measures 12, that's the opposite side because it's across angle A, or it's opposite angle A. Okay? So now if I want to find sine for angle A, the sine is opposite over hypotenuse. I have it all diagrammed out. Opposite side is 12. The hypotenuse length is 13. So that would equal 12 over 13. Okay. Cosine is the length of the adjacent leg over the length of the hypotenuse. Here's the adjacent leg. There's the hypotenuse length. So that would be 5 over 13. And then finally, tangent for angle A. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, 12 over 5. Okay. And then for this other column, it says find the same ratios, but now for angle B. So we're going to focus on angle B. So angle B is down here, right? Now the hypotenuse does not change. The hypotenuse is still across the 90-degree angle. But now the 12 is next to B. So the 12 is the adjacent side, and 5 is across B. So 5 is the opposite side, or the opposite leg. If you call this adjacent side or adjacent leg, I'm not going to flip out about it. These are technically they're the legs of the right triangle, but well, I mean I keep calling it opposite side or opposite leg. The main thing is you know it's the opposite, and this one you know is the adjacent. So sine for angle B, here's angle B. Sine is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, 5 over 13. Cosine would be adjacent over hypotenuse. Here's adjacent, 12. There's the hypotenuse, 13. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent. So tangent for angle B is opposite over adjacent, 5 over 12. And those are the trig ratios for the two different angles. Okay. So we're going to continue with this one. Now sometimes, if we look back at this one had actual measurements for the sides. Sometimes we just have letters in here, and then we're asked to find the ratio, which is the same idea. The one thing I did want to mention, I don't know if I can't remember right off the back if I mentioned this in the notes or not. Capital letters are always used to identify angles, and then lowercase letters are used to represent the side lengths. Okay, and usually like across here's Z, and across the angle Z you have side Z. Authors may be tricky and mix these up, but usually it's like lowercase y is across capital Y, lowercase x is across capital X, and so forth. But anyway, we're going to find sine, cosine, and tangent for this triangle, and then for these two acute angles. So sine for angle x. So again, I'm gonna first identify where the angle x, and then say, okay, this guy over here is the hypotenuse. This side is next to it, or it's adjacent to it. So I know that's the adjacent leg, or the adjacent side. And then this side is opposite, or across the angle x. So I know that's the opposite side. Okay? And then just remember, look up here. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine would be opposite, which is x, over the hypotenuse, which is y. So we're just going to put x over y. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Here's the adjacent side, and there's the hypotenuse, z over y. And that's a z. And then tangent, I think we could see that. Yeah, tangent is opposite over adjacent. So tangent would be opposite over adjacent, which is x over z. Okay. So those are the three trig ratios for angle x. Now when we start talking about angle z, I'm going to show you what changes, and I'm going to change it kind of in real time so you guys can see. The hypotenuse stays the same. What changes now are the adjacent and opposite leg, because x is now next to angle z. So this one becomes the adjacent leg, and then across z, across angle z is side z. So this one over here is the opposite leg. Okay, imagine this isn't the angle of focus. Now it's angle z. We want to focus on angle z. So that's the adjacent leg, that's the opposite leg, and that's the hypotenuse. Okay, so now we're going to find sine for angle z, cosine for angle z, and then tangent for angle z. Now sine is opposite over hypotenuse, z over y. Cosine of z is adjacent over hypotenuse, x over y. And then tangent of z is opposite over adjacent, z over x. Okay, so pause that, and then I'm going to continue. Or pause that, make sure you copy it, then I'm going to continue.